Hello everyone, it's Lauren. In this video, I want to talk about the importance of praising and complimenting your autistic loved one. And the title of this is The Importance of Frequent Praising and Complimenting Your Autistic Loved One. Now, everybody does like to be praised and complimented once in a while, but it's very important to praise and compliment autistics frequently. I learned this myself. Now, obviously, it may not work well for you, but this is how it worked for me. So, I suffered from low self-esteem most of my life because of my autism. Based on what I felt, I would strongly encourage complimenting your ASD child or loved one frequently on every achievement. Just to be able to function normally is a real struggle at times. At least it was for me. Complimenting and praising your child or loved one helps them to feel good about themselves, confident, and sometimes motivated. Sometimes I felt motivated to do more good stuff if someone complimented or praised me. These kids suffer from low self-esteem, and they're more likely to suffer from comorbid disorders, have trouble dealing with negative emotions, and are more vulnerable to hurt feelings than a normal person would be. And a lot of this is because of social misunderstandings. I used to get really frustrated and hurt if I felt like someone ignored me or reacted upset with me, that it would often result in me having uncontrollable meltdowns. One that happened, I will give an example of it. This happened during my senior year of high school, and I included it in my book. One day, in my contemporary health issues class, we had a guest speaker like we did practically every week in that class. And she handed out some forms for everybody to fill out, like a survey type thing. And this one girl asked a question, and I stood up and answered it for her because I knew it. And another girl behind me actually complimented me on what I did, but the way this girl said it to me, it sounded like she was making fun of me. And I got really upset and was trying hard not to cry when the girl that said the supposed to be compliment to me looked at me and said it was a joke. And then she looks at me and goes, "Lauren, that was a joke. I was complimenting you. I was just teasing you." Not only did I got really upset, but this girl that complimented me got really mad at me because I was so upset that I was telling people that she called me a know-it-all. And it felt that way to me. And this girl was one of the most well-liked people in our school. And after that incident, I was so upset and uncontrollable with my meltdown that it was at the point where we were about ready to call somebody to come and get me. And it turns out that I was so uncontrollable over it that we had to make an appointment with my psychiatrist for the following week. And by the time that I got back to school on Monday, that girl finally apologized to me, and I didn't say anything to her. I just looked at her. And situations like this oftentimes confuse others because they never understood why I felt upset over stuff that most people would filter out. Also, on occasion, if I were to get upset in other times over things that people didn't understand, I was often brushed off as for crying for no reason and that I needed to get over it. Number 3, if someone said anything to me out of anger or stress, I often felt upset for an entire day, and sometimes for several days in some cases, even if the other person felt better. Now, there has been plenty of times in my life where people would give me a different opinion of how they truly felt about me. For example, one of my teachers from elementary school told my mom that I was very smart, but she never communicated it to me. And I didn't know this until my mom told me about it over 30 years later. I'm going to suggest this. If you can see the strengths in an autistic person, show it and compliment them. In conclusion, compliment and praise them frequently. And also, I would strongly compliment them on effort, diligence, and honesty. And remember what's most important, and that tomorrow is never promised.